I'm afraid of heights. So our next story made me hold on to my seat and my stomach. But even if you have no fear of heights, I promise you're going to feel the same as we take you to a place that is absolutely heart-stopping. I'll bet you have never seen anything like Bill Ritter's story. It's the first in a series of features that we'll be doing from time to time about people who live and work on the edge.
It's beautiful to go up there. And this city is so beautiful.
This is where Tom Silliman punches his time clock. And this is the view from his office.
I mean, we look down at the Statue of Liberty, we look at the Trade Center, we look at Brooklyn Bridge, we look at the Chrysler Building. We look at everything. We look down at the tourists. They never look at us. We just see their heads.
Looking down with him is his crew, Deke Johnson and Keith Unfred. They're navigating their way to the top of the Empire State Building. The top because that's where their job is, to fix the antenna at the summit of New York's most famous landmark. They're nearly 1,500 feet off the ground. It's more than a quarter of a mile straight down. It is, according to the federal government, one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. On average, 70 high tower workers die every year.
I've been up there when the wind was blowing 30, 40 miles an hour. It was about 20 degrees. I mean, it's so cold, and you're on steel, and it's sucking the heat out of your body.
Silliman's been doing this for 32 of his 56 years, but he seems an unlikely candidate. This is where he lives, Newburgh, Indiana, where the tallest building in town is just 2 stories. With his 2 engineering degrees from Cornell, Silliman set out to follow in his father's footsteps, designing and building TV antennas. But as fate would have it, one of his tower workers fell one day and hurt his back. So Tom Silliman, the designer, was pressed into action.
It was beautiful. It was incredible.
So right from the beginning, there was no fear?
It was a mutual love affair.
And more than 3 decades later, the love hasn't waned. Silliman's now one of the best-known skyscraper tower and antenna repairmen in the world. He's climbed Boston's Prudential Center, Chicago's Hancock Building, and the Tower of America in Texas. Now he's on top of the Empire State Building. Not the top the tourists visit, but the real top. Some of the communications towers up here were built by Tom Silliman's company. Now, sometimes the heaters break down and ice builds up on the antennas. So Tom and his crew go up, way up, to fix it.
When you're up 1,500 feet up and you look out over a city like New York, what's that like?
It's wonderful. Maybe we can take you up sometime.
Oh, well, this is slightly amazing, isn't it?
Oh, be careful what you wish for, because on a Saturday last month, I joined Silliman for a visit to what he calls Tom's World. On this afternoon, Silliman's moving his equipment up for the work he'll do later in the dead of night. Now, I'm not scared of heights, but I have to admit, looking down is daunting. How high are we? Well, this is the first time I could look our helicopter pilot straight in the eye. There are some technical problems, however, which prompts one of our cameramen, Tony Forma, to interrupt my interview.
Absolutely.
Why is my picture so crazy looking at you like this?
So what's happening is that radiation's getting in there, and it's distorting the electronics.
Silliman insists the radiation from antennas is well below federal safety guidelines, and safety does seem a big deal to him.
If you pull down on there, you just grab that and pull it.
It'll stop you.
He uses safety lines, harnesses, and protective clothing. But it's not the danger that worries Tom Silliman. It's the fear.
Fear is an enemy. And the worst thing you can do at anything is let fear take you over. Fear makes you lose energy. Fear makes you breathe faster. Fear makes your grip get weak. You know, if something terrible happens to me and I'm in a situation, I kick back for a minute and relax, because overcoming that fear is part of my life. So that fear doesn't exist for me anymore.
He's come close to buying the farm just once when he slipped and nearly fell 500 feet, saved only by his safety equipment.
500 feet. Just went, I was gone. I mean, I would have been dead.
Oh, my God.
Well, you know, the bad thing was the guy who was with me, it scared him so bad that I had to do the whole job myself and leave him there for an hour because he was shaking, and he quit climbing.
This is the top of the Empire State Building.
Oh, no, no. This is how you get to the top.
As we work our way up, Deke and Keith secure the climb for me. We shimmy and squeeze our way around narrow ladders for more than 120 feet, 12 stories, until we reach a narrow platform called the Ice Shield. Above us, nothing but sky and an 87-foot antenna. And this is where I say, no mas. Most of the work on the high tower is done at night, when the antennas are powered down. Safer for the workers and frankly better for us because our audio doesn't pick up interference.
What's everybody else doing on Saturday night?
From the ground, they just blend into the building, but take a closer look at the Empire State Tower and you can see the small figures working intensely all through the night.
We're not doing bad, it's only 2 o'clock.
Sometimes we'll get up there and we'll all three be there together. We'll just stop and say, God almighty, is this the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? The lights, the feeling, the air, wet smells, the distance. Sometimes we're talking about where we want to eat dinner and whether we're going to have a beer or not.
Okay, reach into yourself now, sir, and just tell me what it feels like.
Sometimes we talk about azaleas, you know.
And he's not really joking, because this man who scales tall buildings for work tills the soil for pleasure.
There's nothing better. You till up a garden, you get some vegetables. I do all our cooking.
And the baking as well. Here with his girlfriend Sally, Tom's baking a pie to celebrate his 56th birthday.
It makes me weep sometimes when I see my crust.
For fun, he also likes riding his Harley. He is, we observed, something of a Renaissance man.
What's inside you that makes you different?
I'm not different. If I had to do your job, and I knew that thousands, millions, or whatever people were watching me, I would be a nervous wreck. Now that would scare me.
You know, I think he's just being nice. Switch places with you, Tom Silliman? I don't think so.
I'd sooner die. If you're wondering, by the way, how we got such fantastic pictures, our cameraman is also a rock climber. One more thing. Tom Silliman is working on designs for 2 new antennas for the Empire State Building, so if you're in the vicinity at midnight tonight, look up, because he'll be working late at the office.